Welcome back to Rocking Chair Reflections. Today's question is one that comes up often. How do I know if a message is really from Spirit? It's a hard one to explain because, in truth, it often falls into the category of, I just know. And that answer never satisfies anyone. It certainly wouldn't hold up in a court of law, and it doesn't make sense to logical examination. But intuition and spirit don't live in the courts of logic. They live in faith. When we receive a message, there is a kind of submission involved. We are admitting that we are not in control, that the message is not of our own making. We are trusting that what we hear or sense is coming from the source we have given ourselves to. Now, some people worry about the possibility of negative or evil entities. Here is how I see it. Why would such a presence bother to give comfort, compassion, or empathy? In my decades of healings and readings, I have found again and again that true messages from Spirit carry wisdom, understanding, and care. They uplift. They do not wound. That doesn't mean I never question. Doubt can creep in. Sometimes I even wonder if my hesitation is a whisper from the opposite side, trying to dissuade me from my purpose. But I trust in my protective practices, in the bubble of light I set around myself, and most of all, in the track record of Spirit's guidance over more than 40 years of this work. So how do you know if a message is really from Spirit? In the end, it boils down to this: faith. Faith that what brings comfort, guidance, or healing is not born of harm, but of the divine presence we have given our trust. May your faith steady you when doubt arises, and may you trust the light of Spirit that seeks only to guide you toward compassion and truth. I'd like you to think back on a time when you received a message, a nudge or a whisper that you weren't sure about. How did it feel in your body? Did it bring peace, or did it stir confusion? This week, when you sense guidance, pause to notice its qualities. True messages from Spirit often carry a steady calm, even when the content is challenging. They align with compassion and care. You may not always prove a message, but you can discern its spirit. Trust what uplifts and heals. That is where Spirit's voice is most clearly found. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you return next week where the question is, why does healing sometimes feel emotional?